When I was 16 years old, I had the opportunity to interview a multi-millionaire who founded one of the largest candy store chains in America. A brand with over 100 locations known for its wild and unique stores. And from this interview, I learned many very valuable lessons that I'm going to be sharing with you. Number one being, sell a product that people constantly consume. Rather than selling something big and high ticket like a TV or a refrigerator, sell something that people consume daily, like food or candy like he sold. When we was talking, he used an example for me because I'm British. We talked about opening a fish and chips cart. People are consuming fish and chips daily. It's very popular here in Britain. So rather than coming in once to buy something big like a television, they're coming in multiple times a week or even every day to buy the same thing from you. That's where you'll make the most money. Because if you think about the cost of acquiring a customer, it's very expensive. It's not worth trying to find loads of different customers to sell these big products when you can get this loyal customer base that want to keep buying from you over and over again. So rather than finding new customers, sell to the exact same customers who want to keep buying more. So sell something cheap that people consume regularly, rather than something expensive that people buy, maybe once or twice a year. That was a big problem with my pressure washing business. This was a product a service that people only really need once or twice a year. So I wasn't getting many sales. I got many different customers, but once I sold to them, I couldn't sell to them again because they're not going to get it cleaned again for months. So it's smarter to sell something cheaper that they'll keep buying regularly. Number two, use Whacky Designs. I asked him how he kept getting customers to keep returning, and he said that he used these really wacky designs that made people want to keep coming back again and again. With the example that we were discussing, the fish and chip shop example, rather than starting just a regular fish and chip shop that doesn't really look that special or unique, we'd call it Captain Hook's Fish and Chip Shop. And that's unique, that's creative. And on the ceiling we'd hang a shark, like a model of a shark. We'd put fish everywhere, all over the store. Just have these creative ideas that make people go, wow, that's really creative, I like that. And when you do something like that, you're giving them an experience that makes them want to come back again. Basically, you're giving your brand personality rather than just being one of those boring fast food stores. Thirdly, there are three very important things that you should consider when you're starting up the business. Number one being your location. You want to find a location that's very active with people. So if people walk by, they just notice your store. That's where you'll get the most customers, like a busy city centre or something. Especially if there's a college nearby. If you can find one of those, loads of students go in there, you get loads of sales. Number two, funding. Make sure you've got the proper funding for starting your business, because he started up a business when he was younger and he didn't have the proper funding for it. So once he'd bought all the product, he'd realised he couldn't actually sell them. So he ended up just stuck with all of this product that he couldn't sell. So you need to make sure you've got the proper funding. You need to plan well beforehand to avoid big mistakes like that. Set a budget beforehand, make sure you've got enough, and plan everything meticulously. And the third thing on the startup checklist is pick the right business partner. When he was younger, he started up another business. It was with a friend of his, and he thought he could trust his friend at the time, but they were selling these very expensive products, and it turned out after a while his friend, his business partner, was stealing from him. So he was losing loads of money, and then when he eventually found out about it, he'd already lost so much money, so there wasn't really much he could do about it. So start a business with someone if you know that they're reliable and trustworthy. Don't just start a business with anyone or just your friends, because you can't fully trust them. Number four, advertising. I asked him how he advertised his brand and his products, and he told me, well, he didn't really need it. And that was interesting to me. he started one of the top candy store brands in America with over 100 locations, and he didn't need advertising at all. Now let me tell you how he got customers. Number one was with word of mouth. Because his brand was very unique, he used these crazy, wacky designs, he got a lot of people talking about him. And because of that, loads of new people came to his brand, friends and family of these people who had already bought from there. But he didn't rely on word of mouth alone. He was lucky enough to have been friends with many celebrities, like really famous celebrities. You wouldn't believe the celebrities that he told me about. He basically spoke to them and created deals so that they could market his brand. He mentioned that he gave out equity to some of these celebrities, a percentage of the business, so that's a smart way to do it. If you think they can bring in a load of traffic long term, keep bringing in more and more traffic, then give out equity. And you can emulate this by reaching out to loads of different celebrities and offering them deals, preferably celebrities that are in the niche that you're selling in. Because the online space now, everyone wants to be like their favourite celebrities. They buy the same products and it's crazy. Celebrities get so many sales just from being themselves and having their personal brand. So try to utilise that. Reach out to them and make a deal. Number 5, franchising. I asked him how he managed to go from 1 location to 2 and many more after that, 100. And he said to me, he utilised franchising, which is where people came into his store and said, hey, this is really cool what you're doing. I want to open one of these stores as well. So they'd pay him to open up the store and they'd manage it for him. Now that's a very smart way to go because you get more stores and you don't really have to do much because you've got these managers managing your properties. So make use of franchising. You can post about it online, say, hey, we need people to franchise our store for us. And your income will really start to accelerate once you get more and more stores and you start to franchise. So make use of this. And number 6, the final piece of advice that he gave me was just start something. I was 16 years old at the time, so I couldn't move out of the country. I couldn't really, buy real estate. I couldn't do much at all, and I didn't have much money. So he suggested that I buy a small cart and sell some kind of product. You just need to go out and experience the world and get business experience. Because the more experience you get, the more you'll learn, and the faster you'll grow, the faster you'll make money. So you just need to go out and try something. Who do you think would perform better? The person who does loads of research in hopes of starting one day, or the person who just starts something without doing much research and they learn as they go? Of course, it's the person who actually tries it. Because the person who's done all the research, they'll find when they start a business, they still won't know what to do. But the person who just went out and started, after a while, they've got loads of experience because they've lived it. They've been going through challenges and they've made mistakes. So just try something. I hope you learned something from this. It was a great interview. I'm so happy that he actually accepted. He was friends with my mum on Facebook, and my mum just messaged him and said, hey, can you do an interview with my son, please? He wants to start a business when he's older. And he was very kind. He agreed to do it. And yeah, it was a great interview. I learned so much from it. And I'm going to keep growing, making more money, starting more businesses, learning more. And yeah, I hope this helped you. Thank you for watching. Bye.